Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Wednesday, April 21st, at 3:25 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, by Zeno Reader. There are 722 headlines from 108 feeds we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. Netanyahu tries to change election rules as mandate slips away. Bus driver out of job after racist remark to student. South Korean President, Trump beat around the bush and failed on North Korea. 12 outdoor furniture sets for living al fresco. A 6-month-old has fractures in his legs, police say, and his parents were arrested. Ohio shooting, Columbus police kill black teenage girl. Ted Cruz says Biden's comments about the Derek Chauvin verdict are grounds for a mistrial. The lawyer who pointed his gun at Black Lives Matter protesters in St. Louis is considering running for Senate. Fort Lauderdale man ran a $30,000 scam on Universal Orlando. Next trip, federal prison. Indonesian military says submarine missing with 53 on board. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Indonesian Navy searches for missing submarine with 53 people on board, CNN. Queen Elizabeth wants this for the monarchy after she's gone, the Windsors think long-term, Fox News. Putin warns of tough Russian action if West crosses red line, BBC News. Baltimore plant with contaminated Johnson & Johnson vaccines had multiple failures, unsanitary conditions, FDA says, The Washington Post. Merrick Garland announces an investigation into Minneapolis police debt, The New York Times. Columbus police fatally shoots black teen swinging knife, Associated Press. A new bird flu jumps 2 humans, so far, it's not a problem, The New York Times. Watch, news conference on shootings at Wawa in Upper Macungie, WFMZ Allentown. Jim Steinman, master of the power ballad, gave pop an operatic energy, The Guardian. Accident at COVID hospital in India kills at least 22 as cases surge, The New York Times. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. These were the most popular baby names 50 years ago. NFL star Jordan Reed retires at 30 after troubling brain scan. Chrissy Teigen reveals how she and Meghan Markle connected over loss. Justice Department announces sweeping Minneapolis police probe. Sick of ads for period panties and baby gear, I changed my gender. Ohio Republicans want to rename Mosquito Lake State Park after Trump. Kentucky Derby horse says nay to his bath and goes bonkers. Queen Elizabeth marks 95th birthday with thank you message for Prince Philip tributes. Lawyer reveals what Derek Chauvin wrote on his hand before conviction. Kim Kardashian freaks out after Bridgerton star reveals behind-the-scenes connection. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. Students begin search for 1983 murder victim. Home site of Harriet Tubman's father discovered. How the pandemic is impacting teacher retention. Video to be released of deputy who killed man. Dad pulls gun to protect family in shooting. Detectives crack 36-year-old murder case. Couple wants refund after paying for credit repair. Texan on medication dies of COVID after vaccine. High school students walk out of classes to call for racial justice. Woman given saline, instead of COVID shot. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. Putin, addressing Russia, warns West not to cross red line. FDA cites failures at plant where J&J doses were ruined. Biden to announce major pledge to cut greenhouse gas emissions. Thank goodness for poetry. Columbus shooting, 16-year-old girl fatally shot by police, officials say. The U.S. facing persuading reluctant Americans to get COVID-19 vaccine. How is climate change affecting our health? Join the conversation. Why Trump is still their guy. Chauvin verdict brings a rare rebuke of police misconduct. In Vermont, isolating inmates kept COVID at bay, but at a price. The following headlines are from the 6th most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Border cartels use TikTok, social media to recruit American teens to smuggle migrants for cash. Trained dogs can smell coronavirus in your pee. Eddie Van Halen's 1934 Ford is red hot and up for auction. NY could see up to 6 inches of snow as mid-Atlantic hit with severe weather. Prince Harry returns to California after attending Prince Philip's funeral. Georgia cafe owner struggles to fill open positions, hard time for small businesses. Chrissy Teigen reveals Meghan Markle reached out after son Jack's death. She is really wonderful and so kind. Kevin McCarthy, Dems could have condemned Maxine Waters' rhetoric, but instead they condoned it. Queen Elizabeth wants this for the monarchy after she's gone. The Windsors think long-term. McConnell rips fake news media for misleading public on Biden's court-packing push. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Wednesday, April 21st. The next headlines are from the 7th most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. New mugshot released as Derek Chauvin is booked into maximum security prison. FDA completes inspection of J&J vaccine maker Emergent Biosolutions, cites concerns over cross-contamination, sanitation. Stimulus check latest, who is getting a plus-out payment? Watch, British woman gets video of mountain lion right outside home in Colorado. Reducing your environmental footprint, how to reuse, recycle, repurpose. Mixing and matching, getting different types of COVID vaccines in the future may provide stacked immunity. NFL, NBA, NHL, MLBPA issue statements following Derek Chauvin's guilty conviction in murder of George Floyd. Baseball report, Yankees not looking like much of a contender. Archaeological home site discovery linked to Maryland abolitionist Harriet Tubman. Earth Day, future of solar energy looking brighter. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. Pictured, 2 men who died in Tesla crash when no one was driving. Casual Carrie Simons takes son Wilfred for a walk. COVID-19, Britain's deaths fall by 42% with just 22 more victims added to official tally. Scorned barrister, 33, who was jailed for making false rape was struck off after lying about exams. Danny Masterson claims Lee Remini persuaded his victims to file police reports against him. Arsonists who killed 4 young children in petrol bomb house attack jailed for life for second time. Kate Middleton recycles Olex under McQueen coat as she joins Prince William at an Air Cadet base. Prince Philip's death, Queen's message to the nation on her 95th birthday. Prince Philip funeral, Prince Harry met the Queen privately at least twice, sources claim. How the Super League almost broke football, but then died within 48 hours, hour by hour. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is the Washington Post World News Feed. The pandemic's chilling effect on free speech. Verdict heard around the world, global reactions to the George Floyd case. Biden's climate summit offers rare breathing space with Putin amid growing rifts. Oxygen leak leaves 22 COVID patients dead at a hospital in India. for grieving Queen Elizabeth II, a private and subdued 95th birthday. Community pantries offer reprieve from COVID-19 hardships in the Philippines. From guns to neck restraint, how police tactics differ around the world. COVID-19 live updates. FDA finds several failures at plant with ruined Johnson & Johnson vaccines. Protesters across Russia defy Putin with calls to free jailed opposition leader Navalny. Indonesian Navy submarine reported missing with 53 people aboard. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's US news feed. European Super League plans in tatters as English clubs, Milan pair and Atletico withdraw, live. Chauvin verdict, Department of Justice announces sweeping investigation into Minneapolis police, live. Coronavirus live news, France to launch J&J vaccine rollout, India sees over 200,000 new cases again. Celebrating Derek Chauvin's conviction is not enough, we want to live. Director Brunel. Boris Johnson says he makes no apology after Labour accuses him of stench of fleas over text to James Dyson, live. Joe Biden expected to announce 200 COVID vaccine shots administered, live. Indonesian Navy submarine goes missing with 53 people on board. Stephen Colbert on Derek Chauvin guilty verdict, more work to be done. US WNT face rival Sweden at Olympics as GB play hosts Japan. Georgia churches call for Home Depot boycott over voting rights stance. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. Stop and Shop suspected shooter was a troubled employee, police said. AG Garland announces Department of Justice probe into policing practices in Minneapolis. Biden seeks to re-establish U.S. leadership on climate with Earth Day summit. Indonesia's Navy searching for 53 people on board a missing submarine. Record late season snow, cold moving across U.S. U.S. sets aside habitat critical for survival of rare songbird. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. U.S. launches federal probe into Minneapolis police. Jim Steinman, tributes paid to the Wagner of rock. Putin warns of tough Russian action if West crosses red line. Chad president's death, rivals reject DBY's son inheriting power. Indonesian submarine goes missing north of Bali. Mexico cartel used explosive drones to attack police. TikTok loophole sees users post pornographic and violent videos. Football Super League cannot proceed, and Yelly. Golden Globes organizers expel ex-president over Black Lives Matter email. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. Columbus police release bodycam footage, officer on leave, what we know about the fatal shooting of Ma'Khia Bryant. Pace of vaccinations may be slowing, joints for jabs a hit in D.C., Ted Nugent admits pandemic is real, live COVID-19 updates. How long will Derek Chauvin be in prison? What to know about the guilty verdict in George Floyd's murder? This is our Selma moment. Racial justice activists hope Derek Chauvin verdict spurs larger systemic change. George Floyd got justice. For families of others killed by police, it's not a fair fight. Guilty, across the U.S., cheers fill city streets after Derek Chauvin is convicted in the death of George Floyd. America absorbs Chauvin verdict. Over 4 of 10 Americans breathe polluted air, report says, and people of color are 61% more likely to be affected. Star Ashley Thomas discusses show's real-life horrors. Derek Chauvin found guilty of murder in George Floyd's death. How much time in prison could he face? The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. Op-ed, California law needs to catch up to sea level rise. Column, ending homelessness on Skid Row won't happen just because a judge orders it. Column, with Chauvin's conviction, justice was served for once, I'll cheer when it's a norm. Column, finally, at least for this moment, justice prevailed in Minneapolis. Guilty on all charges, echoes across Leimert Park with joy and relief. Kristen Smart's body may have been recently moved from under home's deck, DA alleges. Garcetti's proposed city budget increases spending for Los Angeles Police Department by 3%. Can LA really clear homeless people from Skid Row by October? Here's what we know. Class action settlement against former UCLA gynecologist a travesty, lawyers say. At flashpoint of George Floyd protests, Fairfax Avenue reacts to verdict with relief. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More, from other news sources, is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. Australia cancels States Belt and Road deal with China. Fake COVID-19 vaccines have been discovered by Pfizer in Mexico and Poland. Putin warns against crossing Russia's red lines, talks up military advancement. Jim Steinman, Bat Out of Hell and Total Eclipse of the Heart composer dies. TikTok sued for billions over use of children's data. Australian federal government rips up Victoria's controversial Belt and Road agreement with China. Powerful explosion rocks sensitive Israeli defense factory during test, plume seen for miles. Ukraine leader signs law to call up reservists for military service. Japan's troops won't get involved if China invades Taiwan, PM says. COVID wreaking havoc in India, 300,000 new cases and over 2,000 deaths in past 24 hours. Climate, not COVID-19, the biggest worry among young Europeans according to poll. Turkey says any U.S. recognition of Armenian genocide would further harm ties. Pakistani journalist is shot after criticizing the military. Tensions escalate as Russia fires missiles in Black Sea exercise. The next headlines are from Forbes. Teen who recorded George Floyd's final moments praised for her bravery. Taylor Swift's latest album hits #1 on the sales chart, outselling the next 24 titles combined. Instagram unveils new feature to block abusive direct message requests. Brooklyn Nets to sign EuroLeague star Mike James to fill LaMarcus Aldridge's roster spot. Alabama's Alex Leatherwood could fortify the Green Bay Packers' offensive line. Ted Cruz, Biden's comments ahead of Chauvin trial are grounds for a mistrial. Cleveland Browns coach Kevin Stefanski excited about free agent additions. Jail dual nationals in Iran become pawns on sidelines of nuclear talks. Sidewalk Labs spin-out replica raises $41 million Series B. Unexpected legal risks of video conferencing. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Life in a carbon dioxide world. How COVID hurt the fight against other dangerous diseases. Africa's vaccines revolution must have research at its core. Large-scale origami locks into place under pressure. The future costs of methane emissions. India's massive COVID surge puzzles scientists. High CO sub-2 levels drive the TCA cycle backwards towards autotrophy. Structure of human telomerase holoenzyme with bound telomeric DNA. All-sky dynamical response of the galactic halo to the Large Magellanic Cloud. The changing landscape of atherosclerosis. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,700,169,007 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time, and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Former Rennie star Dorinda Medley to teach charity aerobics class with music by Madonna, Ram, and Diana Ross. Sundance darling Coda to debut in theaters and on Apple TV Plus in August. BFI appoints Mia Bays as Director of Film Fund. As Elaine May turns 89, it's time to give the filmmaking giant the credit she deserves. LGBTQ-affirming books delivered to San Diego schools by Gender Nation. Reflections of an EGOT winner, Whoopi Goldberg on Ghost in the 30th anniversary of her Oscar triumph. Variety Entertainment Marketing Summit focuses on future of selling dreams. Loving Highsmith, a doc feature casting new light on the crime novelist, taken by Film Coopy, Salzgeber & Co. exclusive. Willie Nelson set to keynote Marijuana Summit, Beto O'Rourke, Tommy Chong, Margot Price among participants exclusive. Antoine Fuqua directing film adaptation of Cat on a Hot Tin Roof exclusive. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Department of Justice to investigate Minneapolis police for possible patterns of excessive force. Indonesian Navy loses contact with submarine, 53 aboard. Sanders and top progressives push to make college free for most Americans. Super collapse, plans for new elite soccer league implode. George W. Bush lends his voice to immigrants and out of many, one. Strides against debates in the U.S. falter as resources diverted to fight COVID-19. How schools can help kids heal after a year of crisis and uncertainty. Finally, America reacts to Chauvin guilty verdict. Columbus police shoot and kill black teenage girl. Photos, reaction to the Derek Chauvin verdict. The following headlines are from The Week. Solving COVID, April 21, 2021. More than half of Republican voters back Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal plan, poll finds. Garland announces Department of Justice will investigate potentially systemic policing issues in Minneapolis. New Florida law makes tearing down statues punishable by up to 15 years in prison. It also lessens liability for ramming protesters with a car. Queen Elizabeth marks 95th birthday amid period of great sadness. Reopen nursing homes. Virginia City fires copy reportedly secretly donated to, praised Kyle Rittenhouse. Chris Christie is reportedly seriously considering a 2024 presidential run. USDA extends universal free school lunch through 2021 to 2022 academic year. The Daily Business Briefing, April 21, 2021. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. Ion, Texas, on the road. A new crop, portraits of Houston's black urban farmers. In San Antonio, police reformers square off with the cops union. The next headlines are from Physics Buzz News. Music feed, data, sonification of science. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Catch comet R4 Atlas as it nears Earth. What if Starship didn't do a landing burn at all? One idea to explain dark matter, ultralight bosons, fails the test. Meteorites hold early atmospheres from across the solar system. These are the news headlines for today, Wednesday, April 21st. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the third most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Where to watch tomorrow's SpaceX NASA Crew 2 launch. Venus, in evening sky, 6 degrees from sun. New Horizons passes milestone distance 50. How many Tyrannosaurus Rex lived on Earth? Celebrate Earth Day 2021 with NASA. What are Lunar X and Lunar V? 2021 Lyrid meteor shower, all you need to know. Dates of lunar and solar eclipses in 2021. The next news is from Politico. Iran nuclear talks make progress, will reconvene next week. Why Boris Johnson is dropping everything for soccer. Ukrainian president invites Putin for talks in conflict zone. Juventus chief blames Brexit for Super League collapse. Biden's first 100 days. FDA inspection report casts doubt on J&J vaccine contractors' ability to restart production. Justice Department opens broad probe of Minneapolis police. South Korean President, Trump beat around the bush on North Korea diplomacy. U.S. considers more weapons shipments to Ukraine amid Russian buildup. Biden assembled an all-star climate team, now he has to deliver. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Victoria's Belt and Road deal with China torn up. Indonesia asks Australia to help search for submarine with 53 on board. Coming up short, hang on a sec, I think I'm getting the lingo right. Carbon reduction cash is tiny next to coal subsidy. Food delivery giant facing regulatory overhaul in NSW. Tim Flannery follows in footsteps of Greta Thunberg, David Attenborough. City turning blue to mark first anniversary of Eastern Freeway tragedy. Children who see mothers abused more likely to suffer asthma, language problems. Like humans, young humpbacks go to Gold Coast for whale of a time. Inspiration for Oscar contender has local legal connection. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. Market Extra, gap between German bond yields and U.S. Treasuries narrows as EU vaccine rollout speeds up. Demand may exceed supply as CEO of one of the world's biggest hotel groups sees surge in bookings. Market Snapshot, U.S. stocks edge higher despite worries over COVID, Netflix. Futures movers, oil prices fall on global COVID worries, rise in U.S. crude supplies. The Wall Street Journal, EU aims to curb artificial intelligence, facial recognition in world's first major AI law. Invest in electric vehicle batteries, water tech and crypto applications to ride the green wave, says UBS. The Moneyest, my ex-husband racked up $70,000 in credit card debt in my name, and bought a house with our son, now his business is in trouble. Capital Report, Senate just needs to do something on cannabis banking, says House Champion. Cryptus, Bitcoin bears are stalking crypto prices, here's how low they could go. Robert Powell, how much risk can you handle when it comes to your retirement investments? Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Impossible, beyond sensational, protecting IP in plant-based foods. The Legal Intelligencer, law.com. Who invented the telephone? The Irish Sun. How they won it, Qualcomm beats FTC antitrust suit, Law 360. BGE's inventions make for a brighter Namibian future, New Era. Stay on top of intellectual property, Lexology. UK court rules on copyright over software developed whilst working at home, Lexology. Vaccine patent gives US government leverage over manufacturers, Financial Times. Patenting during a pandemic, Lexology. Patent for patients, a boon for cancer immunotherapy, BioBuzz. MedPharm granted patent for unique powdered cannabinoid and terpene extract, Valdosta Daily Times. The next headlines are from Quartz. Biden plans to cut U.S. carbon emissions in half within the decade. India is feeling all the pain, and none of the gain, of an undeclared lockdown. A new U.S.-led malaria initiative has African scientists calling for the decolonization of donor funding. The psychological toll of boarding up our cities. Anxious about getting back to the grind? We finally saw George Floyd's video for what it was. Derek Chauvin guilty, European soccer, Boyog. A year on, some in India's startup community are struggling with work from home. The second wave of COVID-19 will deepen the bad loan crisis at Indian banks. Most Indians needed cloud and connections to get COVID intensive care unit beds in recent months. The following headlines are from TechDirt. Law enforcement officials confirm Clearview's facial recognition tech is mostly useless. Sony reverses course on shutting down PlayStation Store for PS3, Vita devices. Appeals court, no immunity for cops who punched a man hanging from a second-story window and tased him when he hit the ground. TechDirt Podcast Episode 279, How Rights Went Wrong. Federal court tells Minnesota State Police to stop attacking, harassing, and arresting journalists covering protests. Apple tells Congress that it will re-allow Parler's app in the App Store, now that it has a moderation plan in place. Daily Deal, the CompTIA Security Infrastructure Expert Bundle. MyPillow CEO sues Dominion for violating his company's right to say the things about election fraud it definitely isn't saying. The GOP is using veterans as props to demonize net neutrality. Judge has some fun denying injunction requested by one brewery for another over trademark suit. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Prince. NFLX. Action Brunson. Cruel Summer. 15-year-old shot. AirTag. Netflix stock. News Today. Jim Steinman. Keith Ellison. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. USAG announces inquiry into Minneapolis policing practices after ex-cop Chauvin convicted of Floyd's murder. Light beyond Nord Stream 2, as demand for natural gas skyrockets in booming China, Russia says it's ready to meet Beijing's needs. A means, not an end, EU proposes human-centric approach to AI regulation in draft rules. Just did it, Kobe Bryant's widow, Vanessa, ends 18-year Nike partnership despite wanting lifelong deal reflecting his legacy. Putin announces new emission quotas and corporate responsibility for environmental damage as Russia begins to get tough on polluters. Navalny already seen by 4 doctors and not at serious risk, Russian human rights chief says as activists' allies protest jailing. India's indigenously developed Covaxin jab 78% effective against COVID-19 in trials, maker Bharat Biotech says. French president planning to remove COVID travel restrictions as early as start of May. Oxygen leak kills 22 at Indian hospital as country battles short supplies amid record surge in COVID-19 cases. I can breathe. NFL team blasted for politically fueled George Floyd post. Owner defends powerful statement on social justice. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. Our evil group extorts Apple in $50 million ransomware hack of supplier Quanta. Get the FK out of New York, BLM protesters demand white restaurant owners leave the city. Ether outperforms Bitcoin, Guggenheim, JP Morgan fear major correction in crypto, again, as OPEX looms. US and Russia won't have ambassadors in each other's capitals as tensions simmer. WTI rebounds after gasoline demand jumps, despite crude build. Record-shattering cold hits central U.S. Rabobank, does this portend the end of neoliberal idiocy? Canadian drama, Looney Dumb sent pumps on headline chaos as BOC tapers bond purchases, moves up rate guidance. Goldman Prime, hedge fund sells stock 7 of the last 8 days, short squeeze coming. The Chauvin appeal, how the comments of the court and the prosecutors could raise challenges going forward. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. A Tigrayan womb should never give birth, rape in Tigray. Germany, protest erupts as parliament votes on COVID rules. Setting the standard, EU unveils plan to rein in risky AI uses. U.S. police shoot, kill black teenage girl holding knife in Ohio. Exception not the rule, what's next after Chauvin conviction? Wild recovery, protecting nature and preventing the next pandemic. Lebanon crisis, boutique hotels pivot in the age of dollars. Link between cardiac arrests and COVID may help map the pandemic. Putin warns foreign powers against crossing Russia's red lines. Earth Day Summit, Biden's chance to claim climate leadership. The next headlines are from Breitbart. Christian author Cem Ertesby credits historic uprisings for Derek Chauvin conviction. Late night hosts react to Derek Chauvin conviction. America still has a problem with systemic racism. China deleting feminists from social media amid birth rate collapse. BLM organization, communities terrorized at greater rate under Joe Biden than Donald Trump. Hawley, absolutely vital GOP moves away from dependence on megacorporations. CNN's Van Jones on Chauvin verdict, the voting worked, the protesting worked. Democrat recalled in 2018 drops bill to reveal names on recall petitions. FNC's Carlson slams politicization of Chauvin verdict, this is grotesque, it is a cult, obviously. Australia cancels controversial Belt and Road deals with China. WAPO, illegal migrants want their separated children delivered faster. The next headlines are from UPI News. Kansas woman's tire shop appointment leads to lottery jackpot. Watch, 20-year-old photos found in thrift store cookbook return to family. Look, loose llama or alpaca found running on California highway. Watch, magnet fishermen find World War II era artillery shell in Michigan River. Watch, police respond to report of home intruder, find robot vacuum. Watch, musician eases paragliding fears by playing violin. Watch, aggressive goose pet trolling New Jersey diner parking lot. Watch, giant water monitor lizard surprises beach visitors in Thailand. The next headlines are from odd, strange and bizarre things. Fun plant facts for this spring season. 5 scary facts about cyber attacks. 10 coolest restaurants around the world. The smallest airports from around the world. Adorn yourself with the choicest jewelry, top sales this year. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. Dutch citizens are using a doorbell to help fish pass through canal gate. Researchers find they can weaken fear memories, a discovery that could help treat trauma. After 4 winless years, he won the Masters and became the first Japanese man to win a golf major. Resurrecting an ancient fabric more precious than silk that hasn't been spun for centuries. To help protect your heart when stressed, scientists suggest eating or drinking these things. Restaurant wants to give burglar a second chance, offering him a job application. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Wednesday, April 21st. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Syrian President Assad to run for re-election in May, state media. Man charged after cutting down 150 trees for a better view in a protected wetland. Apple will engrave fart and dick on your new AirTags, but not poop. Airline accidentally charged this guy $770 million for extra legroom. Cannabis activist Todd Hinden offers free weed for vaccinated New Yorkers on 420. Man bitten while using barbecue tongs to remove rattlesnake. Company hiring full-time marijuana vaporizer tester, offering $42K salary. The identity hoaxers. What if people don't just invent medical symptoms to get attention? What if they feign oppression, too? 9 juveniles injured in gunfight that broke out at 12-year-old's birthday party. Scientists are burying 2,000 pairs of underpants in Switzerland. The next headlines are from a site called The Next Web. EU's proposed AI regulation has some major loopholes. EVs are safer than traditional cars, but why? From site building to marketing to customer relations, Selfie does it all in one. Tesla Model 3 dominates all other EVs in France, Germany, and the Netherlands. Samsung will help you use your old Galaxy phone as a child monitor. American EV sales skyrocket 81% year-on-year. Instagram will now filter out strangers' DMs that contain abusive language. With the new Apple TV remote, the nightmare finally ends. Hyundai's Ioniq 5 EV is a deceptively chonky boy. How Apple's AirTags track items while preserving your privacy. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Outback Radio Telescope discovers dense, spinning, dead star. Shift work causes negative impacts on health, affects men and women differently. Augmented reality in retail and its impact on sales. Energy unleashed by submarine volcanoes could power a continent. Complexity of microplastic pollution. New conductive polymer ink opens for next-generation printed electronics. Predicting the next pandemic virus is harder than we think. Designing healthy diets with computer analysis. Drug development platform could provide flexible, rapid and targeted antimicrobials. Using engineering methods to track the imperceptible movements of stony corals. The next headlines are from Information Week. IBM talks AI Ops potential at Digital Developer Conference. 3 factors that should be driving your digital transformation. 10 things your artificial intelligence initiative needs to succeed. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Wednesday, April 21st from over 100 sources to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from NASA News. NASA updates launch date, TV coverage for agency SpaceX Crew 2 mission. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. Utah Senator Mitt Romney calls Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal an error. Utah School District says it will revise project where students were assigned to be fictional slaves and plantation owners. Letter, Biden should restore monuments on Earth Day. A turning point in America, hundreds march to George Floyd mural in SLC. Leonard Pitts, real justice shouldn't be this difficult. The rundown, Utah weathered the pandemic better than most states. Letter, what the words in the Second Amendment mean. Letter, no man has a right to tell a woman what to do with her body. Letter, Q tossed to Romney for working for the constituents instead of big donors. Robert Gehrke, Angela Dunn was much more than a capable expert during an unprecedented pandemic. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. Linux bans University of Minnesota for sending buggy patches in the name of research. Apple's $64 billion a year App Store isn't catching the most egregious scams. Sony set to announce PlayStation Plus Video Pass. Apple will let podcasters sell subscriptions and keep a cut for itself. Google Chrome hid in another mysterious zero-day attack. Russian moles withdrawing from the International Space Station after 2024. Teaching children to play chess found to decrease risk aversion. Concept Audi A6 e-tron has headlights that can project video games. MI5 warns of spies using LinkedIn to trick staff into spilling secrets. Apple announces new Apple TV 4K with redesigned Siri remote. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. COVID, the next steps. Ask your questions for the experts to answer Thursday. Emos gives part of proceeds to Variety, the children's charity to help kids with special needs. Department of Justice announces probe into Minneapolis policing practices following Chauvin verdict. Watch, Pelosi thanks George Floyd for sacrificing his life for justice. St. Louis defense attorney Chet Plepin says Chauvin's 3 guilty verdicts conflict. Water main break closes Melville School District's Washington Middle School today. St. Louis leaders react to Derek Chauvin trial verdict. Citizens Committee to review Orson Woods and Glendale Public Safety merger. Expect another round of frost and freezing temps Wednesday night. I-70 shootings, teen injured after bullets fired into vehicle Tuesday. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. Bill to reveal signees of California recall petitions won't move forward. Biden to deliver remarks as U.S. is set to hit latest COVID-19 vaccine milestone. Pfizer starts trial for third COVID-19 vaccine shot. San Diego gas prices holding steady at over $4. Man suffers brain bleed after crashing into parked car. Judge to decide if predator will live in East County neighborhood. San Diegans take to the streets following guilty verdict of Derek Chauvin. Celebrations among protesters after Chauvin found guilty in death of George Floyd. Ohio police fatally shoot black teen swinging knife. The next headlines are from SpookNews.com. Former Clay Sheriff Daniels told investigators he sent mistress $60K over course of relationship. Czech PM's remarks on 2014 blasts trigger outrage, underscore split over Russia ties. IRA man saved MI6 spy boss Sir Maurice Oldfield from sniper attack. Stolen work van recovered, 2 men arrested after short police pursuit. Samsung is making sure that Galaxy Smart Tag Tracker isn't used for stalking. Unit 29155, the Russian spies specializing in sabotage and assassinations. Mortal Kombat star to lead new spy series. Royal family goes back to work amid mourning period for Prince Philip. Update 1 China-linked hackers used Pulse Secure flaw to target U.S. defense industry, researchers. MI5 warns of spies using LinkedIn to trick staff into spilling secrets. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. Boeing receives additional $436 for rate production of A-64 aircraft. Northrop Grumman secures $2.3 contract for Minuteman III intercontinental ballistic missiles. Pro-Russian separatists use banned anti-personnel and mines in eastern Ukraine. European military observer saw 22 rocket launchers in Ukraine's Luhansk region. Rheinmetall, Northrop Grumman to cooperate on enhanced range artillery ammunition field. Belarus increases military activity across the country. Pentagon raised concerns over Russian military buildup on the border with Ukraine. Colombian fighters intercept Il-96 aircraft of Russia's main security agency. Boeing received $79.40 for support for Japanese KC-46A tankers. U.S. Navy awards contract to Huntington Ingalls for amphibious assault ship L-8A9. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. The first McDonald's in Beijing was a symbol of engagement. All the electric car companies in China, a guide to the 27 top players in the Chinese EV industry. Q&A, Foremost Group CEO Angela Zhao on carrying on her family legacy and forging her own path. Chinese celebrity apologizes for texting employees at all hours after social media backlash. In China, delivery workers struggle against the rigged system. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. San Rafael mom and child attacked by roommate with axe. How San Jose Unified School District is safely bringing students back. San Francisco woman charged with cyber-stalking 3 teenage boys. Justice Department to investigate Minneapolis police practices. 3 police officers on leave after Oakland man dies in custody. Honolulu resident receives 3rd COVID-19 vaccine shot as part of Pfizer study. Social justice organization holds rally at San Jose church following Chauvin verdict. San Jose looks to reform police department. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. More than 180 reported arrested in Navalny demonstrations. Sliver of hope, relief, caution as America absorbs verdict. Amazon begins rollout of Pay by Palm at Whole Foods near HQ. Indiana woman reaches plea deal in baby's meth-related death. U.S. stocks turn higher, Netflix slumps on slower growth. Barrington area toddler killed when hit by pickup truck backing out of family driveway. Silence, then cheers, relief washes over George Floyd Square. Better, 4 journalists win 2021 Studs Terkel Awards. Columbus police officer fatally shoots girl swinging knife. Dining events, Kana Grill intros weekend brunch. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Washington leaders react to Derek Chauvin verdict with calls for racial justice. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Green alert for tropical cyclones Yuragi 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Green alert for tropical cyclone Jobo 21, population affected by Category 1, 120 km per hour, wind speeds or higher is 0. Drought is ongoing in Bolivia, Brazil. Drought is ongoing in Algeria, Libya, Tunisia. Drought is ongoing in Angola, Congo, DRC. Drought is ongoing in Afghanistan, China, Iran, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Pakistan, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. Drought is ongoing in Iraq, Jordan, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal. Drought is ongoing in Mozambique. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Wednesday, April 21st in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from Cipher Brief Security News and High-Level Analysis. The link between national security and climate change in Asia. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Justice Department announces sweeping investigation into policing practices in Minneapolis. 1 killed in motel parking lot shooting. Body found after travel trailer fire. How Texas elections will change and become more restrictive under bill Republicans are pushing. Warriors Steph Curry gives jersey to Delaware State trooper after game. FedEx shooting Indianapolis, alleged shooter didn't have red flag hearing, prosecutor says. Second victim identified in fiery Tesla crash near the Woodlands. Floyd family attorney shares how long he believes Derek Chauvin's sentence will be. Oscar winner named Oscar, yes, it's happened. Oh, the places you'll go, Dr. Seuss exhibit to make stop in Houston. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Germany vows to boost cycling as part of climate effort. AP photos, looking back at fiery George Floyd protests. Wisconsin Racial Justice Task Force issues recommendations. Floyd verdict sparks hope, inspiration for activists abroad. Faith leaders hope Chauvin verdict lifts racial justice work. In war-torn Syria, Assad makes bid for fourth presidential term. Garland announces police probe day after Floyd case verdict. Oxygen supply disruption kills 22 COVID-19 patients in India. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Pandemic delayed neighborhood charmer The Acre finally opens in Ridgewood. A moment of joy, New Yorkers react to Derek Chauvin's murder conviction. City nonprofits face financial catastrophe due to pandemic's demands. Tickets now on sale for the Rubin Museum's Brainwave program series. After Chauvin verdict, mayoral candidates promise police reform. Derek Chauvin found guilty of murdering George Floyd, demonstrations planned in NYC. NY Women's Prison, housing mothers and newborns, hit by COVID-19 outbreak. NYC Muslims made plans for COVID-19 vaccinations during Ramadan, then came the J&J pause. Chef Wiley Dufresne teams up with Bread's Bakery for a New York City-style pizza pop-up. Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. Agro-industry surrounds Xingu indigenous territory in Brazil. UN rights chief welcomes verdict in George Floyd murder case. Earth Day 2021, passing on a cleaner world. Rights group calls for overhaul of criminal justice system's response to sexual violence across South Asia. UN and partners welcome progress in Libya. UN chief deeply saddened by death of Chadian President Idris Deby. USA, shackling of aged and infirmed inmate, Mumia Abu Jamal, deplorable say UN rights experts. UNICEF reports sharp rise in migrant children in Mexico. La Soufriere volcano, UN launches $29 million appeal to support stricken island of St. Vincent. COVID-19 locks down therapy support for Zimbabwe's trafficking survivors. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. Bill Gates criticized for blocking the equitable distribution of COVID vaccines. Derek Chauvin found guilty of all 3 charges for killing George Floyd. Trudeau minister says internet censorship bill will make Canadians safer. Facebook plans to launch stablecoin that will compete with dollar early next year. Company sells sex robot clones of dead partners using 3D modeling technology. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Yes, the Las Vegas Raiders tweeted I can't breathe after Chauvin conviction. AP, Attorney General Garland to announce Minneapolis police probe. Columbus police officer fatally shoots teenage girl. Crowds react with joy, wariness to verdict in Floyd's death. Today Stanford study conclude masks don't work. Will ex-Minneapolis cop Derek Chauvin spend life in prison? Did Portland mayor declare state of emergency after Antifa, BLM posters called for violence? Nevada teen suffers seizures, brain clots after J&J vaccine. Did the families of Emmett Till and George Floyd watch Chauvin verdict together? The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Factcheck.org back in contention for the Webbies. In her own words, Maxine Waters. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. What happened on this day in history? Here are some notable events from History.com. Sip-In takes place at Julia's Bar in New York City. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. The softest bras I've tried are Parade's newest bralettes. The new abnormal has turned one and is celebrating 20 million listens. Indian hospitals run out of oxygen after foreign sales boom. Prince Harry flies home, skipping Queen's birthday, as hopes fade for reconciliation. These shower steamers woke me up better than coffee. Think you've seen the best of Los Angeles? You might have missed this neighborhood. A black lady sketch show cast on finally getting to be black, fat, mean, and funny. COVID-19 vaccinations are slowing, just in time for the Indian variant. Whether they egged on January 6 rioters or cleaned up after, these lawmakers raked in fundraising cash. Inside the pro-Trump conference where COVID denial and calls to kill political enemies reign. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Ronda Rousey reveals she's pregnant with first child in home video. EU reaches major climate deal ahead of Biden summit. Michigan man says teacher, classmate cut his biracial daughter's hair. Angelina Jolie, my family situation has prevented me from directing. What time will The Circle Season 2 Week 3 hit Netflix? The following headlines are from astronomy.com. Primordial black holes could explain dark matter, galaxy growth, and more. You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. How to watch the Lyrid meteor shower as it peaks on Earth Day, April 22nd. SpaceX Crew Dragon launch delayed to Friday. How farming in the Mississippi Delta can save America's food supply chain. Officials race to empty reservoir to eliminate voracious predator. FDA orders Johnson & Johnson manufacturing plant to stop vaccine production. Fauci says COVID vaccines are key to normalcy amid vaccine hesitancy. Controlled fires designed to limit damage of wildfires. CBS News poll, Eye on Earth, what do Americans think can be done on climate? As carbon emissions surge, can China and Japan quit the coal? New video of Ingenuity's successful first flight, next mission could happen this week. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. A look at Manhattan DA candidates on the ballot in June's primary election. Mother of Ma'Khia Bryant killed during confrontation with Columbus police wants answers after fatal shooting. Florida woman arrested for biting, trying to strangle her Uber driver mid-ride. A snapshot of top-tier NYC mayoral candidates in June's primary election. Change cannot wait, AG Merrick Garland announces Minneapolis police probe day after Derek Chauvin's guilty verdict. Gay teen suspended over painted nails convinces Texas high school to adopt gender-neutral dress code. Derek Chauvin pictured in new mugshot after George Floyd conviction. Pfizer confirms fake COVID vaccines found in Mexico, Poland, with some containing anti-wrinkle treatment. 30-pound bronze turtle worth $800 stolen from front yard of Long Island home, police. This is not justice, AOC calls Derek Chauvin guilty verdict only a first step toward real change. The following headlines are from military.com. By far the hardest thing I have done, aviation soldiers march through Arabian desert for Nordic Skills badge. New Air Force survey investigates justice disparities in Asian, Hispanic, Native communities. Dirty, embarrassing secret, veterans with PTSD struggle to shed stigma of bad paper discharges. Family of slain Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillermo's actions anniversary of her death nears. Amid wave of military deals, Sikorsky has sold only one commercial helicopter since 2019. $94 million worth of cocaine discovered on boat offloaded in Miami, Coast Guard says. Astronauts flying reused SpaceX rocket capsule for first time. US-backed Afghan peace meeting postponed as Taliban block. 2 injured in Army helicopter training crash in Alabama. Man charged after drive-by shooting at National Guard soldiers in Minneapolis. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Attorney General Merrick Garland announces Justice Department investigation into Minneapolis policing practices. Teenager arrested in back of the yards carjacking after pursuit on I-57, authorities say. Toddler killed when father accidentally backs vehicle over him at Barrington area home, officials say. Chicago's taste of winter continues with snow showers, lightning expected Wednesday. Column, George Floyd murder witness Darnella Frazier is a stone catcher, and her courage can light our way forward. Coronavirus in Illinois updates, here's what's happening Wednesday with COVID-19 in the Chicago area. Daywatch, Chicago activists, politicians praise Derek Chauvin guilty verdict, some Illinois hospitals are filling up and meet an 18-year-old restaurant owner. Column, remembering the death dates of people you love can be like remembering their birthdays. Column, Derek Chauvin's conviction is a big step toward criminal justice reform, but the blue wall is still standing. Chicago activists and politicians praise guilty verdict in George Floyd murder but differ on what comes next. The following headlines are from FIS.org. How SARS coronaviruses reprogram host cells to their own benefit. Beauty gurus more trustworthy to audience when their production quality is high. Cracking open the mystery of how many bubbles are in a glass of beer. Illuminating invisible bloody fingerprints with a fluorescent polymer. Ingredient in Indian long pepper shows promise against brain cancer in animal models. Jane Austen quote encoded in a polymer. Climate tipping points need not be the end of the world. New process makes biodegradable plastics truly compostable. Central African forests are unequally vulnerable to global change. New evidence shows important seabird nutrients reach coral reefs after rat eradication. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Wednesday, April 21st, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Appeals court won't review denial of firing squad request. Latin American leaders seek more vaccines at Endor summit. Pakistan frees 669 men from radical group as it ends rallies. Alaphilippe, Van der Breggen Winfel in races. Publisher pauses release of new Philip Roth biography. Alden Smith turns himself in on battery charge. Florida school superintendent charged with perjury. Police, Kentucky mother charged in death of 10-year-old son. At this wedding, the bride and groom were the crashers. The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. Slack key guitar champ Patrick Lendiza has new music, and 2 streaming shows. Missing hiker sought on Mount Whitney. Gunfire during robbery inside Macy's at Concord Sun Valley Shopping Center. Neoners Jazz Masters with star-studded online show. Suspect in fatal shooting of Antioch dog arrested by U.S. Marshals. Justice Department to investigate Minneapolis policing practices after George Floyd's death. Longtime San Jose factory site is bought by New York City-based developer. Bay Area News Group Boys Basketball Preview, Rankings, Players to Watch, more. Campbell Crime Report for the week of April 30th. Former San Jose Council candidate pleads no contest in crash that killed a pedestrian. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. France to impose entry restrictions on travelers from India. Utah governor defends support for NBA minority scholarship. Memphis police, vehicle occupant who shot at officer wounded. Rapid City man convicted in crime spree, including assault. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Derek Chauvin's conviction was a relief, but courts cannot deliver racial justice. The defund police movement takes aim at fusion centers and mass surveillance. Derek Chauvin found guilty of murdering George Floyd. Progressive groups fight at AT&T Mobile's new texting rules. Wall Street's cookbooks fueled the financial crisis in 2008. It's happening again. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Simplifying our world. Gaps in genetic knowledge affect Kiwi conservation efforts. Do school shootings have a copycat effect? A good night's sleep could do wonders for your sex life. Researchers' VR walking simulator feels surprisingly close to the real thing. Picture perfect, camera traps find endangered dryas monkeys. Bistable pop-up structures inspired by origami. Researchers identify potential subtype of PTSD. Freshwater salt pollution threatens ecosystem health and human water security. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Will Blackhawks and Bulls fans be allowed to return to United Center this season? Hive updates. Alderman proposes extending cap on third-party restaurant delivery fees. Justice Department opens Minneapolis police probe day after Derek Chauvin verdict. Columbus police officer fatally shoots teenage girl. Man charged with stabbing 61-year-old woman to death in Roseland. Queen Elizabeth expresses gratitude for support and kindness. Jeffrey P. Hayden leading Ravinia into a new era, and a return to live performances amid a pandemic. Blackhawks hope Patrick Kane's lagging scoring rate takes off over final 10 games. Driver falls asleep and crashes into home in Burnside. Dear Abby, should couple keep trying after 6 miscarriages? The feed from the Riverfront Times St. Louis has been removed for putting advertisements in its news RSS feed. A stupid plan to escape St. Louis. Tommy Chim smokes and drinks. Route 66 is weed. How to pass a hair follicle drug test. 5 best detox shampoos and methods for hair drug tests. Best SARMs for bodybuilding and enhanced bone health. Mayor Tishora Jones says she has a dream for St. Louis. The next headlines are from Detroit Metro. Natural appetite suppressants. 5 best hunger control pills for weight loss 2021. White angst keeps Trumpism alive in Macomb County. Savage Love, Number Number. Free Will Astrology, April 21st to 27th. The never-ending news. Absolute Biden. Best Kratom vendors, top verified brands to buy Kratom online. Best sex pills for men, top 7 natural male enhancement supplements of 2021. Ifool reviews, is Ifool Eco OBD2 fuel saver a legit or scam? Does it really work? Revifil reviews, does Revifil hair regrowth formula really work? Customer reviews. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Ted Cruz meets with a Marine who has been camping outside his house. Houston Concert Watch 4/21, Riff Raff, Aaron Watson and more. The most questionable part of Rusty Hardin's defense strategy for Deshaun Watson. Opens new interactive art display to talk about the police. Derek Chauvin found guilty of murder and killing of Houstonian George Floyd. A real barn burner, the Flamin' Hellcats at Continental Club. The next headlines are about world records making news. Japanese ski jumper Sara Takanashi breaks record with 109th podium finish, Guinness World Records. Chevy's new Corvette Z May 6th pack of V8 that shatters a world record, GearPatrol.com. World record for the fastest graphics card ever recorded done on a Red Devil Ultimate, 3225 MHz, Guru3D.com. Power Color Radeon RX 6900 XT Liquid Devil Ultimate with AMD Big Navi achieves 3.2 GHz GPU frequency world record, WX Tech. Both sides contacted solar cell sets new world record of 26% efficiency, Tech is floor. Audio, man from southeast Missouri's Williamsville catches world record spotted car, KTTN. 100 days, 3,000 plus miles 78-year-old Guinness World Records distance runner to run from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C., WFMZ Allentown. Fuel Tech 1-ups Amelia Hartford's twin-turbo C8 Corvette for new world record, Auto Evolution. China's Shi Zhiong breaks snatch world record to win Asian title, Xinhua English News CN, Xinhua. Birtle creates world record, the Himalayan Times. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Incredible fossil skeleton reveals an ancient human relative who swung through trees. You can finally buy the flat cap that looks like someone turned roadkill into a robotic pet. The trailer for Werewolves Within makes it look like a clawfully fun flick. Some climate tipping points may be reversible, if we act fast. Samsung's new upcycling program allows you to turn an old Galaxy phone into a new IoT device. The Stowaway soundtrack sets a deceptively gorgeous mood for deep space danger. You can now get a 10 Gbps Ethernet port on the M1 Mac Mini. Sound reactive Bluetooth speaker uses magnetic ferrofluid to become a real-life Winamp visualizer. Discovery of mass depth site bolsters theory that tyrannosaurs hunted in packs. The Witcher could return to Netflix sooner than you'd thought. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Kayes in Mali at 113 degrees Fahrenheit or 45 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was University WIID in Dome Fuji at 32 degrees Fahrenheit or 0 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. Sony takes aim at Xbox Game Pass with PlayStation Plus Video Pass. Brace yourselves, Facebook has a new mega leak on its hands. Pause of J&J vaccine was the right call, say 88% of polled Americans. Everybody hates Flock, Google's tracking plan for Chrome meds. Grab a pair of recommended Anchor noise-canceling headphones for $64. Hackers are exploiting a pulse-secure zero-day to breach orgs around the world. In evolving to infect mink, SARS-CoV-2's risk for humans changes. EU lawmakers propose strict curbs on use of facial recognition. Apple announces new M1-based iMac in 7 fancy colors. Venmo's new crypto service lets you buy and sell Bitcoin, Ether, and Litecoin. The following headlines are from Raw Story. GOP Steve Scalise says D.C. doesn't deserve statehood because it's overrun with criminals. Foxconn mostly abandons its Trump-hyped plant that promised tens of thousands of jobs. That's what animals do. Ben Carson objects to people fighting for racial equity. GOP gubernatorial candidate in Virginia fumes over Derek Chauvin conviction. It makes me sick. Scumbag, right-wing radio host faces furious backlash after sharing racist image in response to Chauvin verdict. Enraged woman caught on video slapping Asian woman for speaking Mandarin. I don't want you talking. Vaccine hesitant Republicans undermining race to herd immunity. It's really ingrained in partisan identity. Progressives plan with tax Wall Street speculation to fund tuition-free college. Is the Derek Chauvin guilty verdict a sign of progress? Maria Bartiromo snips at Joe Biden. If we are so systemically racist, why did we elect a black man? The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Police reforms don't work when cops ignore them. A great deception, oil giants ripped for greenwashing. One guilty verdict doesn't satisfy that appetite for actual change. Why Derek Chauvin's trial is not the end of the fight. After Derek Chauvin's guilty verdict, Biden calls on Congress to act on police reform. Nancy Pelosi thanks George Floyd for sacrificing himself by being killed by the police. Derek Chauvin was just found guilty on all 3 counts for murdering George Floyd. Soccer's richest clubs try to create a world where they could never lose. Behold 4/20, which means more than you think. Ahead of Chauvin verdict, Republicans attack a familiar target, a black woman. Social media influencers are spreading wild rumors about COVID-19 vaccines and periods. The next items are today's top search results for Bigfoot. Sasquatch, 3 takeaways from the new true crime series on the folkloric beast, The Washington Post. The next items are today's top search results for extraterrestrial life. Why media matters, images of women scientists and engineers, Mirage News. Wet 8 a.m. Shasta County facility helps search for ET, Jefferson Public Radio. The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Scientists reveal origin of neuronal diversity in hypothalamus, uric alert. Why a brain on a chip would need little training, technology networks. How employee volunteering can foster equity and empathy in the workplace, Forbes. Brain on a chip would need little training, uric alert. Adolescent brains are wired to want status and respect. That's an opportunity for teachers and parents, Scientific American. Non-coding RNA's unexpected journey in making memories, technology networks. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Wednesday, April 21st, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Airline pilots keep reporting UFOs over Canada. UFO images are real, Pentagon confirms. That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Wednesday, April 21st, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. Fair use statement. News.i8 is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2021 by News.i8. All rights reserved.